Hi everyone, hi Nick. I'm back with two more journals to share with you. And do them in, because they're similar, I'm going to do them in one video. These are sort of along the line of the stocking stuffer kind of journals that I did last week. But these are a little bit different. These are Traveler's Notebook size and for like an insert, or you could use it just as a journal. So they're like 8 by 4. Excuse me. And they, instead of wrapping them in a handkerchief because they weren't going to fit, I used a couple of my vintage, some of my bigger vintage doilies, and just wrapped them in that. They're both round, so I kind of folded the ends in and then wrapped them and put the seam binding as a tie, and then tucked a little, this one's got a little bird you could use for a gift tag or whatever. So then the same as the other ones, this would become your closure for the journal. You have the doily to do with whatever you wish. And then you have a journal or a Traveler's Notebook insert. And I am going to wide angle this out just a scrid. Here we go. And hope I don't get too much more shadowing. I wanted to do this earlier, but the friendly neighborhood snowplow man wanted my car moved like right that very instant, so I had to go do that and have a little discussion with him about how to deal with the disabled. And then I came home from school and then dinner and whatnot. And if I try to do this in the morning, I know I'm going to have a problem with shadowing from the light from the window. So I've either got it now or I've got it tomorrow. So I'm going to do these now so I can get this done and listed. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'll do this one first. Okay, this one is, excuse me, this blasted cough. White cotton crocheted doily, some teal sari silk for the closure, which I left quite long, and in this envelope here for the little tag, I'm going to hold it up so you can see it better, it's a vintage photograph of a couple, and it says on the back, "Another feast for the eyes," and it's like a winter, it looks like it's winter outside, and I put it in this vintage glassine envelope, and I put it in here because it's quite old and it's cracked right here. So if you wanted to use the photo for something, if you leave it right in the envelope, it won't rip any further. But I wanted to use it because this is a winter themed journal or insert or whatever you want to call it. So you can see that this is quite large. You could use it for a centerpiece for your dining table or something like that, or cut it up or whatever. So I'm going to put that aside and this aside, and then this is the journal. Maybe I will come back in a little bit. All right, let's try that. If I'm lucky, I can keep it in frame. Okay, this is the journal. It's winter themed. It's not Christmas. There's nothing in here that says Christmas. So if you don't want anything Christmas, if you just wanted something winter, this would be it. It is from a Christmas paper pad, but there were some sheets in there that they weren't necessarily Christmas. They were just like snowflakes, or this is just music. So it could easily adapt to just a winter. Let's see, this is just it's a cardstock weight paper, and that's what's on the cover. There's 2 layers of, you can see it or not, there's 2 layers of lace on here. The white one, and then this cream one that I forgot that I had. I got it at Hobby Lobby quite a while ago. And then this is a Tim Holtz, one of the holiday cabinet card photographs. It's a little boy with his skates around his neck. and I put it on, I stitched it onto a page from that really old Department of Agriculture book that I got from it's like from the 1860s. And I cut that out with some decorative scissors. And then I just took some silver trim and some silver ribbon, metallic ribbon, tied in a bow, and then I just glued it to the sides of the photo. And the back is just plain. So let's go inside. I did some very light stenciling, just on the white pages with the snowflake stencil. There's lots of ephemera in here. There's also lots of room to write. Try not to go too overboard. But it's all like teal, those tags from some paper scraps, and then it's all just wintry, like snowman ephemera, and then just some general ephemera that out of my stash, mostly Tsunami Rose, that I just shrunk way down. And we just have different coffee dyed papers. This is naturally vintage, naturally aged. It's not dyed at all. I did some layering on some of the pockets with just scraps. And bits and pieces of stuff that's just on the table here. This is a page from, I think it's February 1965. Some children's coloring book. Stationery. It's another corner pocket with just lots more ephemera. That's a Tim Holtz, I think. Just some colored paper. There's a paper bag in both of the journals, and in both sides of it there's just a piece of extra paper for more journaling. I'm not going to take it out every time because they're all four of them are exactly the same. Lots of cotton lace trim. It's some Martha Stewart corner punches. It's just some book page, children's writing paper, old elementary math workbook of my brother's. A little corner pocket with some snowflake trim, tag that I made, some recipes, some winter birds, and some more winter birds. I just get these in so easily when it's not upside down. Doily. Sheet music. What's this? This was the front of an old calendar book. This is some parchment like paper. Some ephemera. See, there's a lot of room to write. I didn't go too ballistic on the decorating. Lots of lined paper. This is an order form for some children's like school materials and things like that. My mother used to have a preschool many years ago. This was out of a catalog where she would order her supplies. And there's another little tuck spot with a little doggy. Really lovely lady. And there's a couple skating, and then oops, so upside down, yep, that way, alphabet chart. And this is a page out of that, with some glue on it, a page out of that supply catalog. Centered signature. It's just some more random wintry ephemera. These two here. That's the other half of that order form. Lined paper. There's a vintage photo and Some more ephemera. Snowman. Oops, an owl and some ladies feeding a swan, I guess. Am I still in frame? Sort of. Some more of that parchment. That's a Tim Holtz. It's a train schedule card, I guess. And then these two. Okay, there's nothing in here that says necessarily Christmas. Some more workbook. Book page. Their pocket with some more ephemera. Tag that I made. Oops, and then these two. This is another one of the other half of the glassine bag with another piece of paper, the same as the other one I showed you. Some, that's the other half of that calendar. And we have a large tag. This piece here, and then these two. More lined paper, children's paper, doily, some chickadees, and then some more birds. And that is that one. Alright, I'm going to set this one aside and we will look at the other one. Okay. That with that. Okay, this one is wrapped in this one's like a beige, ecru, whatever you like to call that color. It's even almost, maybe a little even taupe-ish, I guess. It's got a navy blue seam binding, a ribbon. And then I put this little bird. Die cut in there. So that could be used as a gift card or it could be used in another journal. And this is quite long, so that would become your closure. And then there is the doily. You can see it again is quite large. This would be really pretty on a dining table. It does have a really small stain right there, but if you flip it over, there's no stain and it doesn't really seem like there's a front or a back to it. So that would be really pretty on a dining table, or you cut it apart, whatever you like. And there is the journal or insert or whatever you want to call it. It's 8x4, the same as the other one. And this one is just some random papers from a floral paper pad that I got end of the summer, I guess. Again, 2 layers of lace, just 2 white ones this time. This is some like 1.5 inch wide stretchy lace underneath, and then kind of a fancier one on the top. And I know the camera is not going to pick it up very well, but it is very delicate and really pretty, besides for the glue. And the back is obviously just plain, and on the front, this is an image from, and where the heck did I put the book? I found this on Etsy, and it's it was given to someone for Christmas from Papa and Mama, December 25th, 1909. And it's kind of all falling apart, and I'm going to use the cover eventually, but it's got poems and gorgeous floral images in it. And there's a whole bunch of them. So it's really delicate. It's sort of like it's a padded cover. Some of the stuffing is coming out of it, but I couldn't resist it. So, and this is the first time I've used it. So this was one of the images in that book. And I trimmed it down a little bit, sewed it to some vintage sheet music, and then just glued it on and put 3 vintage buttons up in the corner. Again, there's just random papers from this paper pad, random ephemera. I didn't put lace on the edges of this one. I did paper, no, not paper, fabric ruffles this time. And all sorts of different ephemera. There's some, just some light stenciling on the back sides of the cardstock. And I did corner around all of those pages. And this is some ticking from, still some scraps left over from that bed cover that I made for Alan a while ago. I've got a fair bit of that left over. And I made some fairly deep pockets here. And this is sort of basically a floral theme, kind of a vintage floral. And this is one of the paper scraps, and I did put a button on that one. That's Tim Holtz, and that's Tsunami Rose, I believe. Some of the pockets have some of my little layered doodads on there with Tim Holtz people, and just, this has got lace and cheesecloth and ribbon and a button. We have doilies. We have coffee dyed paper, Edith Holden pages, textbook pages, lots of floral ephemera, like that. And that's a Tim Holtz piece. Some that's dictionary. A brown paper bag with that same piece of paper as in the other one. And I put some of this trim on this one. Some more decorative paper. This is a piece from one of my grandmother's handkerchiefs. I just ruffled and sewed on there. And there's another tag that I made. Some more ephemera. That's a Tim Holtz. And then these two. That's one of the pages from that Department of Agriculture book. I love it how it's water stained, and it just, you can tell it's just really, really old, and it's all like that. It's all worn and water stained, and the cover's kind of a little moldy. It's just really cool. Some lined paper, coffee dyed paper, just a fabric scrap that I just ruffled and sewed on. This is an envelope, which I forgot to put something in. Actually, I think I'm going to leave it this way because it wants to come, it's going to come apart. So you can actually very gently open this up and you can write all on the inside. So I'm just going to leave it that way. And there's another, excuse me, another envelope, and I made a paper pebble to, it's supposed to keep it shut. And in there I put this ephemera here. Goes in there. That is supposed to stay closed like that, and then tucked behind it is this here, and then these two. These are Tim Holtz. Some sheet music, some more Edith Holden, some blue crocheted trim, some more textbook, mainframe, yeah. A top tuck on this one. That's from some sort of an old ephemera pad that I got like 2 years ago. I don't even remember what it was from. This one here. Oops. And these are both, those are both Tim Holtz, I know that. Some more dictionary, some children's paper, square doily, another fabric ruffle. Edith Holden. Scraps of ribbon. That's the middle. Another tuck spot. Another tag that I made. These are all Tsunami Rose that I shrunk way down, and then that's a Tim Holtz flashcard. Another top tuck. Looks like some, oops, like graph paper on one side and script on the other. Tsunami Rose and a Tim Holtz world map. Some more of that blue lace. Some more Edith Holden and sheet music. This is the flap of the envelope, which I kind of held down with some of that satiny ribbon, and I layered up a whole bunch of stuff, and then I put these two behind it. That's Tsunami Rose, this is Tim Holtz. It's another corner tuck with a vintage library card. Tsunami Rose, and these are both Tim Holtz. Some more of that really old book. Another piece of Nan's Hanky. It's the other half of the paper bag with another journaling sheet inside. Dictionary. This is a little glassine, sort of, well, not even glassine, it's more like waxed, not like waxed craft paper, I guess, that Tanya sent me a while ago. And I have these two tucked behind it, and then in here is a little library card. Some more textbook. It's another corner pocket. A tag that I made. It's a Tim Holtz and Tim Holtz Botanical. That is the last page, and that's the last page, and there's the back cover. So that is that. So with these, with this one, you get the beige doily, and with this, and with the winter one, you get, oh, I can reach it all. You get the white doily and the picture and the sari silk. So these will be listed. These will be listed separately. This one will be called Vintage Floral, and this will be called probably just Winter. So these will be in the shop, Pumpkin Patch Journals. If you're interested, you can pop on over there and check them out. And yeah, I will be back again with another project probably in a few days. And everybody have a great night, and I will see you next time. Bye.